That's funny for so many reasons.
Right, it's so dark too. Well, Dennis, this is live happy hour. You and me
Happy,
looking each other in the eye.
This is too weird.
It's
too weird. That proboscis leg of yours is so weird in person.
right. Well,
The video proves that it's real.
well,
People assumed I was making it up.
we're submitting it to some researchers.
I bet you people thought it was smaller than what it really is. They all pictured it smaller. They didn't picture it as
it's never as
size 12.
It's never as big as in your imagination.
That's what I've heard. Wow, what a great week.
Yes,
What a great fun week.
we had a week playing golf.
Camaraderie and festivities and some outstanding music.
Yes,
These
our friends.
Phil is well, and he's there. It's to plug him. He's playing up in Boone, and
Right.
he's playing everywhere. Him and his buddy. I don't know what he told me what their name is. We'll have to ask him and put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I've seen them together before. Yeah.
Phil Shirley is just so talented.
Yeah.
Just so talented, and then wow, man,
It's
Somebody. Wow, man. He when he was doing stuff,
he's rocking.
He meant it.
Yeah.
He meant it. He was committed
And
to those tunes, and they're not easy tunes.
no. And his ability to just go up and down the
scale.
fretboard with bar chords on an acoustic guitar for hours and hours, that takes a lot of strength.
Which then Phil fills in with lead.
Right, exactly.
And, solo and whatnot.
And magic dust.
Yeah. I wish I didn't get so freaking tired that I end up nodding at 9:30 where I just can't really function anymore. But
Right.
I am in fact worn to the bone. Born to the bone.
Yeah,
Worn to the bone.
that's a full day of activity.
Oh yeah. Well, it starts early, and I get up at 6 to have coffee, and if I'm smart, a few stretches anyway.
Right.
But the weather was amazing, the gusting wind, and I can't believe that none of us. I think it's uniform.
None of us lost
Got a
hats.
picture, of one of the flags bending almost.
I got a picture of one of the flags.
90 degrees,
Yeah.
bending in the wind.
Yep.
Oh, you did. Thank God, because I had asked everyone. And,
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I also got a one that's with iOS. It takes what are called live photos, which it's like short little videos,
Oh.
and then it picks the best one for the photo. But because it's storing the rest of the video and also audio information, like the idea when Apple came out with this is they said. You know how when you're going back through photos of your kids when they were little and and they're so cute. Well, watch this, and then with a long press on the screen, you get a second before the picture and a second after the picture with audio, so you can hear the noise in the room or your kid's voice babbling as a toddler or something like that. And that was their real selling point. The problem they ran into is, well, first of all, when that feature came out, all of us that use iPhones had to learn that you need to hold the phone steady for a moment before you snap a picture, if you have time, and then hold it steady after. Because what happened was we got a lot of live photos that were like blur up to this and then back down to your pocket, because people were used to just going blip, blip,
instead of understanding the real time commitment.
But one of the other cool things that you can do with this is because they're short little videos, you can have them loop as an animated GIF. You can do either a loop or a bounce, where you go. The time reverses to come back. And depending on for a waterfall or something, you can just loop and it looks really nice.
Oh yeah.
But for some sort of sports action thing, you want the bounce. And I got one of the pins on the greens blowing and bouncing like this as a sort of an animation.
You know what would be fun for me to do with you? Fun for me, a lot of work for you. Just the way I like it. I have this footage, like this last fishing trip. Mm-hmm. I have this footage of all these different videos and even waterfalls, as you mentioned, and different scenes of the wonderful weather and the fall colors and the fish being caught, and an image at 6 a.m. where the light of day is coming up on the river, and there's silhouettes of fishermen, except for the first fisherman, who's my brother, who you can see in the mist with the line in the water,
Beautiful.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's all of these, and what do you do with them? Well, you put them to music, and you decide, which is the hard part. So first cut, let's put it all together in some way, and whatever strikes our eye, and it ends up to be 5 minutes. Well, it's 5 times too long.
Right.
So where do you go from there? And then in my view, the way I edit stuff is I just cut back and cut back and cut back and do a count and know. But that's such a way to store memories, because you take a lot of pictures and you said it throughout this weekend, because you said it several times, was memory making. You'd take a picture, you'd say memory making, or you'd say something like that. I remember exactly what it was, and it was good.
Anytime you're having, it's good to be mindful enough to realize that we're having a really good time. This is a really special moment.
This
right
is
now.
something.
Take a mental snapshot. I want to remember this.
This isn't every day.
Right.
This group of men, as it turns out, and Danny,
Yes.
outrageous Danny. I actually, given the environment we were in, the circumstances we were in, watching the Carolina Duke game, and him being a Carolina fan, $40 on the game, etc. Of course, every Duke Carolina game is crazy, but I did, when he started slamming his hand on the glass tabletop when they were making mistakes, I did image them losing, and him just out of control and flipping the glass table with everything on it.
Going to all Tasmanian Devil
Just because
on the condo.
he was up and he was in the umpire position in front of the TV, yelling at him, yelling at
Why
the
did you
players,
pass it there?
laying at them, and oh god, he's a big boy.
He could do some damage.
He is a big boy. I don't know if you saw him tangle up with Phil on the couch for a minute, where Phil was saying something about Carolina, and to be funny, and Danny reached over with that bear claw of his and started squeezing Phil's leg, and Phil's like, "Whoa!" And I thought, and of course Danny was in the seat that was higher,
Right.
So he was
the advantage.
So Phil was down in the sinking couch, so Danny looked even bigger, hulking over him, and I said out loud, I said, "Phil, you don't want to wake up the country in him. You don't.
You need to expose your neck and
Easy.
surrender."
Just man, don't."
Wow.
Body slam you into the glass tabletop. And then when they actually lost in the final 1 second of the game, it was
Less than 1 second, yeah.
all the air went out of him like he was an inflated balloon, and he walked out the door.
Right.
And then we didn't see him for a while. He just left.
He's probably crying. No,
He was counting pennies to give him $40 in pennies. 4,000 pennies. Here you go.
yeah, there are people that can seem really physically intimidating, and then you can just deflate like that too.
Yeah. Well, it was all fun, but the blustery weather and the sunshiny day on the last day, and I'll never forget hole 16, 17, and 18, which
Our classics.
I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again. But it didn't much matter at that point.
The thing you were talking about of wouldn't it be nice if you could have an easy way to put pictures and video and stuff together.
Yeah.
Two things came to mind. On the Mac, there's this simple for beginners video editing software called iMovie, where you can just select a bunch of your pictures and videos and say, put all that into a video, and then it puts it normally in chronological order, which is normally the way you want it.
Yeah.
Just so this is day one of the fishing trip, and day 2 and day 3. And then you can go and add subtitles, or you can shorten or lengthen the pictures.
But they give you a start.
Yeah, and they automatically do that Ken Burns effect, where it's not just a still
It's
image.
a whoosh, fading and fading in and fading out.
A panning and or zooming, and you can go and you can choose. Oh, I want it to start with this face. I want the Ken Burns effect to start with this face and then pan out to be bigger. You can go and adjust all that as much as you want to.
Yeah.
The other option, you use an Android phone, so do you know that whether or not you use Google Photos?
I do.
Because Google Photos
Does it for you.
does it for you. Has a little assistant.
They do it, right.
And it says, hey,
They
you
send me
just
a
took a
memory.
trip. Right.
They send me a whole thing.
Right.
And it's
which is cool.
Non-selective though.
No, you can go in, I think, and say,
I think
not this one, use this one.
But as far on their end goes, it is simply all the pictures.
Right. But what's
No quality control.
right, exactly. But it's also, how much does that cost you?
No.
Nothing.
Which is also is starting point for whatever you want to do with
Right,
it.
exactly. You have anything else you...
And they would love you to use their app to make it better.
Okay, see, I don't even know what Google's editing...
Well,
video editing
if you
stuff is.
want to go in and work on it, then you've got that on your menu.
In the photo, yeah, in the Google Photos, yes.
Which I've never done. I don't. But
They'll also do things... well, one cool thing that they do that hasn't happened a lot recently since I've mostly been using my phone for pictures, but before when I was using my DSLR camera, and I didn't remember to go in and remove duplicates. You know, I took 12 pictures of a particular subject and trying to get it right, and one of the things the Google Photos assistant thing will do is it'll go in and find photos that are almost exactly the same and taken within seconds of each other and make a little animation, which is kind of cool because it's these still images, but then you can sort of see people walking across.
right.
A gimmick. It didn't cost them much to figure out how to.
So here's a thing. Stop me if I've talked about this already, but so my brother Timmy has 1,000 photos over 15 years, 1,000 of him with a fish in his hand, and I want to create whatever the minutes would be. It could be 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
A little video of seconds of each.
Every
of those.
picture in such rapidity that it's at that pace with the human brain generally can absorb each picture individually,
right.
whatever speed that is, and then stop it with a broad takeaway that
It shows all the pictures.
that says all the pictures, but it's also the name of it,
Right.
which is in the working title, which is what I've been using all these years, is The Legend Continues, because his adeptness at catching fish and his records are astounding. 300, 400, 600 fish a year. Okay?
Wow.
Right? This is going out and going into the bay of Lake Erie, Dunkirk Bay of Lake Erie, and drilling a hole in the ice, and getting out there with a tent and a jug of wine, okay?
Tent and a jug of wine.
And pulling up out of there 14 and 15 fish, each of which is 20, 24 inches.
And he doesn't even take a picture with every one of them, for sure.
Oh, he pretty much does.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
he does, yeah, because you
Is he
never
just
know.
not by himself?
Yeah,
In the tent?
or with others. But
Set up your little tripod.
he goes every day. But no,
Every day. Wow.
yeah, no, he.
It's hard to take a fish selfie. If the fish
It
is.
is.
Big enough. You gotta hold it like a baby.
It is, but I think most frequently doesn't go by himself. Who would? Unless somebody will go with him, then he does. But these are trout, lake trout, that are 6 to 8 pounds.
Wow.
They're 20, 24 inches. He's pulling them out of the ice. They're this long. And so picture after picture after picture after picture.
That'd be cool. The other thing that came to mind is I used to play a lot with morphing software, where you take two pictures, like of God forbid your face and my face, and you tell
God
the
forbid,
computer where the corners of the eyes are.
God forbid, because you never want yours back.
Yes, just to visualize our love child.
Oh, that's nice.
And it moves your the point. You put as many points, and it's going to animate those to each other. I can't imagine that we're that far away from a computer algorithm being able to. You tell it, look, there's a face and there's a fish in all of these pictures. You, rather than just a quick cut between pictures, what if it sort of morphed between
from one to the other?
Well, like one a second, just really quick. So
From one to another?
yeah, that would be really sweet.
And then another one, and then another one, and
because
another.
when you do that, it if you morph from someone with their head turned one way to someone with their head turned slightly to the other way, like you get a sense of the person, the motion.
So check this. Because of the nature of the shot, most of the shots have about the same size of the head.
Right, in the same angle.
Within the frame.
Right.
The fish is, of course, fills the frame.
Probably always with the head facing the same direction. Because you probably normally pick it up and hold it.
Well, that's true. That's
because
true.
rarely are you going to do it the other way.
And also, then, the ratio of, in the frame, the ratio of fish, which is the front of the frame, because any picture of a fish that anyone takes, you hold the fish out in front of you, closer to the camera.
Makes it look bigger.
It actually makes it look
Clever. Like 4 times bigger.
the size. to get the sense of the size.
It makes your head look little, though.
There was a clip in a movie I saw the other day that the woman in it. Oh God, I don't remember the actress name. Maybe I'll get it in a minute. But she said, and don't tell me that I have a small head. It's just that my breasts are incredibly large. Selma Hayek, if I pronounce that right. What is the
Salma
name?
Hayek.
Hayek. She's very funny.
She is actually. Her uncle lives in my little fishing village.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't wait to come see you.
Well,
Actually, let me rephrase. I'm going to have to wait to come see you.
there you go.
I'm looking forward to coming to
You
see
can and you will.
I will. I must.
Yes. Well, that would be another chance to record in
live.
person.
Right.
Who knows how this audio is? And I apologize to our listeners if it's shite.
Well,
But-
you just have to tune the volume up.
Right.
Well, man, innovative.
I'll just crank up the gain in post, and then we'll sound.
So you do pre, you do post, and I do the here and now.
You do the peanut butter in the middle.
Oh my word!
As we have mentioned, this episode was recorded live with Dennis and I in the same room, and we recorded video of the event. So if you'd like to see our video, it will be made available to our Patreon subscribers at patreon.com/happyhour, but you have to give at least $10 a month to be able to watch the video. So if you want to see just how beautiful Dennis and I are, you can go to patreon.com/happyhour, pledge at least $10 a month, and you can watch the video of this episode. It's pretty great. Now, back to the nonsense. I saw an interesting news story the other day that I have held off on telling you about. It's kind of interesting. Someone figured out how to hack, and hack is a very loosely used, is about as loose as you can use the word hack. Someone's figured out how to mess with Google Maps traffic numbers, data. Because Google, and Apple is about to do this too, because Google controls Android, and Android has there's a bunch of Android phones out there. Google can track how quickly those phones are moving down the highway, or down the streets in downtown, wherever.
Right.
And it could figure out that if you're going over a certain speed, then probably you're a car, or if you're in the middle of the road going slowly, then probably there's a traffic jam or whatever. So somebody figured out that if you take a bunch of Android phones and you put them all in a radio flyer wagon, and you walk down Main Street slowly, pulling this thing behind you, Google thinks, man, there's a whole bunch of cars stuck there just going really slow down the street, and Google will mark that as a red high traffic area, and will route other people around that are using Google to navigate around
give it the option.
Right. Well, and ideally, yeah, it'll probably pop
Reroute
up saying, yeah.
You got to ask. You usually ask you.
So
Do you want to reroute?
So with just this simple walking with a wagon.
But how many phones would?
I don't know, several dozen.
Has someone done this?
Yes, there's
And
this
so
article.
whose phones are they?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter. The way Google's going to fix this is they're going to only trust data from phones that look like they've been moving like cars before. Because I think what they did was they purchased a bunch of phones, created a bunch of Google
But you'd
accounts.
go to your friends and you'd say, hey, this will take a half hour.
Right.
We're at Johnny's having a party, and I want everybody's cell phone. There's 20 of us. I'll put our cell phones in here. I'm going to take a little walk. I'll be right back. Everybody would do it.
Do you know how attached people are to their phones?
No, they would do it. We would do it.
With a lot of trust. You need a lot of trust.
Picture our group.
Mm-hmm.
Picture our group if you were in charge of it.
Okay.
It should be different than picturing our group with me in charge of it. With me, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
With
Like, I'm not giving you my phone.
With you, they do it.
They might, yeah.
But
again, it's a neat thing that what they found is a loophole and a bug that needs fixing in their Google's algorithms. But it's not like a thing that a bad guy is going to use against anybody. You're not going to disrupt New York City with a wagon.
No.
So I don't.
No.
It's just a clever.
I wonder if you could do that to reroute traffic to your business.
Well, there's
Right.
there's your potential
Right.
thing.
So
You're-
let's reroute traffic, and they all gotta come by my gas station. And I'm gonna put a sign out there,
I'm going to pay some teenagers to walk up and down the main drag.
and I'm gonna sell beer $1 a can from a cooler on epic proportions.
On a hot day.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, of course, did you create a traffic jam? I guess you did.
You created it. Well, it
just flows, the
It's
traffic.
just a flow. It's just a flow.
Yeah, so that's not it.
So you're not.
So what do you hawk?
I don't know. What do people want? Fireworks.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Hey, that's the secret to business.
We've got to give the people what they want.
This is a great idea. If anyone ever does this, we deserve a cut.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna hawk something
This is
because of the reroute.
It's called happy hour
I know,
hawking.
I know.
Triple A.
The reroute is extensive, and the pitch is gasoline.
The reroute is what?
The reroute is extensive.
Extensive.
It means, well, I can't go this way. I got to go way out of my way. Oh my God, look at my gas gauge.
Right, and then
That's too much.
the one paying for our hacking operation is the gas station clerk.
Petrol.
Right.
We'll go to one of the world's oil companies.
Right.
They're good, right? I mean,
Exxon. Hey, Exxon, call us.
I don't think they're Bernie supporters, but just saying.
Hey man, it's all about shaving that extra bit
Shaving
off the top.
what? I don't want to hear it.
It's all about,
If you get all
it's all about
creepy
how-
with me when we're in person, there'll be trouble.
It's all about how smooth.
Don't get all deviant.
How smooth you can get your.
Don't get all deviant. You're going deviant, I can tell. It's a tone in your voice. You try to sound try to sound soothing,
Yes.
but it sounds like a spider spinning a web, and I won't
Of
be
deception.
of deception and ruin,
It's just-
ruin. I say
A web of deception and ruin.
Ruin.
There's our episode title there.
ruin. So, guess what we found down in the cupboard?
What did we find?
In the left-hand corner, up hidden in the left hand of the cupboard,
What'd you find?
we found a bottle of rye.
Yeah,
And you know what we asked ourselves?
I put that up there
Why would someone put it up in the left-hand corner?
because it didn't want to bother with the other areas.
Why would someone be trying to hide this?
Or rye would that happen?
We can edit this part out. We can.
Hey man,
Wait. Do you need some coffee? Do you need a boost?
am I dozing off?
You seem to fall asleep in the middle of your sentence. I thought you were Joe Biden for a minute. I mean, so listen to this sad story.
Yes.
This sad story. Well, it's politics, but just to say briefly, because you and I have talked about it a little bit, is Joe Biden there was a poll in North Carolina that said that 63% African American population support had slid to 39%.
He dropped from 63 to 39.
To 39. And his money, he raised more money than anybody in South Carolina, raised more money than anybody in North Carolina, but that record of amount of money he raised was $170,000. Now, $170,000 doesn't, it barely buys you an ad.
Right, a single ad.
In an interview with a Greensboro Democratic Party official who was a Bernie supporter in 2016, he says, look, Joe Biden cannot be taking this for granted. And I will tell you what, I have not seen one commercial from Joe Biden featuring, and I will tell you what,
Featuring North Carolina?
featuring Joe Biden
Yeah.
for this state. And I look for these things. So, good God. He is, number 4 in Iowa officially, with Buttigieg number 1, which is...
Are the other candidates advertising in these places?
Of course they are.
Okay.
Bloomberg?
But
Listen to this. Joe Biden in North Carolina has got an office there, opened up. He's got a staff person there.
a staff person.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many little Mike has, as Trump calls him, Mike Bloomberg? Take a guess.
200.
It's a pretty good guess. 100.
Mm-hmm.
100. 100.
And that's probably per state, at least.
When you have as much money as there is...
Wait, that's 5,000.
Well,
See that math?
yeah, bingo. And what do you pay these people? Not a lot, but you have them organized. And I'll tell you what, the thing about what's happening is that you got to figure, what is it going to take? And one of the things that we know is that Trump's ability to raise money has skyrocketed ever since impeachment. 5 seconds after Pelosi's vote, his automated feed sent to millions of supporters who provided millions of $5, $10, $17 donations the plea for the hoax and all the stuff. It's skyrocketed. It has been that high ever since. So his ability to amass, and so you consider, all right, so Joe Biden didn't have any fucking money. Klobuchar doesn't have any fucking money. Buttigieg isn't going to get out of South Carolina alive. He just won't. He'll live through Super Tuesday. He'll be done. So Bloomberg,
got your Bloomberg, your Bernie, and your
Bernie has as much money as he needs, but at the end of the day, at the reality check of centrists and progressive Democrats, not leftists, is the issue of electability. Who do you think Trump wants? Who do you think he most wants to run against?
Wow,
Bernie. Why is that?
Well, because
he's a socialist.
They already have that label.
He's a socialist.
And Americans are terrified of that word without
the voting,
without really understanding what it means.
There's a significant proportion of voting Americans who are very concerned about that title.
Yeah.
It's not Americans, because the sliver that I just described of voting Americans is less than 24% of the population.
Jesus,
so,
yes.
And so at the end of the day, who the fuck knows what the population wants? I mean, the sentiment on the left, obviously, is that we're on the brink of the collapse of the government.
And it's so hard to judge because all the news sources, first of all, like, you can't judge your perception from using the internet, because that is so totally skewed to either to make you feel good about everyone is with you, or to make you feel enraged that everyone is against you, which both work equally well. Not equally well. Rage works better.
Right.
But
yes.
And then also where rage works better is in all the news shows, where they know that if you turn on Fox, you're going to learn about what those Democrats are doing. And if you turn on MSNBC, you're going to learn about what those Republicans are doing.
Yeah.
And I remember for about a year I watched Rachel Maddow because
MSNBC.
she was one of the first things that was available on my Apple TV as a sort of like a podcast. They had this term, not vlog. Vlog is taking blog and making it with a V. Vodcast. I don't know. There was some RSS. There was some feed that I could subscribe to with my Apple TV, such that every morning when I woke up in Spain, last night's Rachel Maddow show was available for me to see. And this was when my
in full video.
in full video. And this was when my kid was little, and I was just playing baby stuff, and I could sort of have Rachel Maddow on. And that was during the Obama-Romney race, and the Republican primary clusterfuck that led up to that.
So here's the.
But hold on, let me finish. That I remember that whenever I was done, whenever that show was over, I was just angry for a couple hours about what those fucking asshole Republicans were up to, because that's all she would tell me is, hey, have you seen what these guys are doing? They've tried to sneak in this thing, and I realized that it was just making me angry and not for any particularly good reason. So
well, for you being, what is your status? What is your?
I vote in the U.S.
What is your? So what do you call? What is your?
I'm an expat.
An expatriate.
Yeah.
But American citizen expatriate?
It's, I think what I vote with is an overseas ballot. And I am one of the 0.5% of overseas ballots that are not military. Almost all the overseas ballots are for people serving in the military. And
it's accommodating.
But so I'll come right out and say I voted for Obama, over.
Oh my God!
Over
I'm
McCain.
sure our listeners are shocked. Shocked.
When I did that vote, I was still doing it on paper, and they sent me the paper thing, and it was and so I filled it out, and then I had to get 2 witnesses to watch me sign it. So I went down to my local corner grocery store, and I said, "Hey guys," in Spanish, "Hey, come and watch me sign this, and then sign your name," and they did, and they.
So say it in Spanish. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
Venga, vamos a verme firmar esto.
Of course they'd agree.
And they said, all right. And they were also pleased to be voting for Obama,
Right.
doing their part.
Right, because he was well loved.
But since then, I've been able to vote via email. And I think the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to print out the PDF, fill in the little circles, and then scan it back into a PDF. Why we can't vote? Okay, I understand there are some logistics about.
Why would anyone
About using like a website or an app or something? There are potential problems there, but there are potential problems with paper. Let's not get into Iowa.
Please.
We did that last episode. What I do is I load it up because I have enough technical expertise to edit a PDF file. I load it up and I have this little I copy out the little oval and I edit it in Photoshop and I make a black oval. And then I take it and I paste it over each of the ones that I want to vote for. And then I save that out to a PDF. And
so that's why it represents such a small number of people, because the patriots who, what are they called?
Expats or overseas voters.
What's expats?
Expatriate.
Expatriate.
Expatriation.
Is that right? Expatriate? But not with an O, with an A?
Yes, I think so.
So expatriate.
Expatriated. Patriot is with an O is the noun, but I think you can patriate something.
But why are you X? It doesn't sound good.
It sounds
it's
true.
like you used
sounds
to
like
be.
I broke up with
It's
you
like
guys.
you used to be a patriot.
Right.
You used to be a patriot.
Right.
But it's spelled differently. It's with an A.
Well, that's why we never say the whole word. We always say expat.
Who's we?
Expats.
Is Tom Brady in your group yet?
Good pull. I sort of got that joke.
Oh Lord. Well.
Yeah. So we will see. I will. So where I was going is I vote by email, but by doing that I have to agree that someone is going to look at my ballot before it gets processed. Which means that it's not totally anonymous.
Those are so many rules and steps in a process that it would be intuitively clear that nobody wants to go through all that. Well, nobody's going to do all that.
What do you mean do all that?
Do all that shit to be able to vote when you're in another country. They're just not going to do it.
Well, what people
it's too much fucking work.
Yeah, my other American expats in Spain that I know probably print it out and mail it in. You can do by mail too.
Well, that's easier. That's easier.
Where they'll mail you something and then you.
That's a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. But I don't want to deal with paper.
Right.
So.
Are you like a? What do you call yourself? Some kind of a paperless goal.
Papyrophobe.
Paperless goal. What is it?
Papyrophobe.
Just because you pronounce it in French doesn't mean that it's any more sensical.
Pepperophobe.
Papier.
Papier.
Papyrophobe. I'm a papyrophobe. I do not like paper. I do not like it to be around me. I don't like stacks of it on the table. I want no paper. I'm a papyrophobe.
Exactly.
Papier.
Papier.
This is a wonderful drink.
Yes.
Stretching them out, so we've got a problem.
Yes. Your cup is empty?
Listen, happy hour is happy hour. If it was intended to be one drink, we'd call it happy half hour.
A happy hap?
We gotta get another one.
We gotta get another one.
Or should we go with another one, or get a different one?
Different one, maybe. Why not?
It's pretty good. Why not? Back to work. Well, right, have you bought me this?
Well,
Good Lord, man. What have you done
it
here?
was
It was what?
there was just a little bit
We
left.
have guests coming. We need to take it easy here.
All right.
Here's to you. Here's to you, man. It's a great happy hour.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Famita.
Fumita.
Yeah, it might have been a little too stiff.
Ah.
Well,
So, I feel like we should be on the docks, dressed warmly, getting ready to board our ship. This is like a fucking... What is this?
we're down
What'd
by
you
the
do
lake.
here? What is this, Rye? Do you know?
This is a Jim Beam pre-prohibition style rye.
Pre-prohibition style? What does that mean? That we're carrying gun? We're not carrying guns, or we are?
Well,
We are.
I always bring my Tommy gun to.
Your Tommy gun.
To the
What a
podcast.
great. Hey, so speaking of Tommy guns and your use of that term, which is not appropriate to your age, because Tommy guns is way earlier than
thinking
when
Prohibition.
when you were born.
Well,
Right,
so is Prohibition.
But so the other day when we were in the kitchen, did you intend to talk to me in the James Cagney voice, or what happened there? Do you remember this moment?
I remember this moment. I don't know. I was.
You sounded exactly like James Cagney. I was trying to cook something.
If you asked me right now to sound like James Cagney, I could not. So no.
Well, you did. What you said? You said, "Hey, is it done yet? Hey, is it done yet? Hey, what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to pull here?"
That's something. That's,
You
I say that all the time.
You do. It was funny.
What are you trying to pull
It
here?
was funny. I just wondered who was there with us. It was the third person.
Can't remember.
Oh, Jeff.
Could be.
Jeff hovering near the food. It's hard to imagine. So I liked our little left, right, center poker tournament.
Hello there, listener. It's me again. Just wanted to remind you that you can go to patreon.com/happyhour and pledge $10 a month, and you can watch a video of this event, this episode that we recorded. It turns the podcast experience into a video experience. You can watch it on your TV. You can blow it up. It's 1080p. It's just amazing. So go to patreon.com/happyhour and pledge $10 a month. Explain that left, right, center game to our
So
listeners.
you get 3 dice.
Well,
in
first
your
of all,
hand.
you start off with coins.
Well,
Okay,
we'll
fine.
get
Sorry,
there, but it's a dice game
apologies.
that requires 3 dice, and each dice is labeled either with a dot on some of the sides, and then on the other sides are written the letter L for left, the letter R for right, and the letter C in red for C. Left and right, the L and the R in blue, and so you've got 3 sides of the 6-sided die, and then the other 4 are dots.
Right, exactly.
And so with 3 of
Well,
these,
yeah, the three.
so that's part 1. Part 2 is that every player has 3 coins in front of him or her, most usually quarters in the United States, but often
You can do stacks of hundreds if you like.
awful too, at least occasionally $1 bills, or $50 is a great thing if you've got a bank handy that does have to. But you put up 3 coins, and for every coin you have in front of you, you roll one of the
You might
dice.
as well use poker chips too. It doesn't really matter.
You could.
Right.
You could. You throw the dice, and then you do what the dice tell you. What the dice is telling you to do with the money. So when it says left, you move a coin to the person to the left. When it says R right, you move a quarter, a portion of the money to the right.
Yeah.
And then C for center, you move it in the center. The last person who has money in front of him or her wins, and that happens because you're either giving the person who wins your coins, or and you're also putting a lot in the center. So when you have, as we did, 3 people, it goes relatively quickly.
Right.
But when you have, as we did on a Super Bowl Sunday, standing room only, maybe 16 people,
Wow.
men and women, shoulder to shoulder,
That'll take an hour.
over a dining room table that would seat 8, big enough table to seat 8. and people shoulder to shoulder, everybody standing up, surrounding the table.
That'd be pretty cool.
And not with quarters, dollar bills.
Yeah, you can watch the money flow around.
Dollar bills.
And again, this is totally a game of chance. It's totally random.
Totally.
There's no skill.
I won $400.
The other, as I said, it's not a game of skill. No, but the thing that you leave out in that description that wasn't obvious to me or our playing companion was that unlike in poker, where if you lose all your money, you're out. In this, if you lose all your money and you still are sitting in the same place, if the person to your right rolls an L, they have to give you money again, and you can go.
You're never
you
out.
can come back from zero.
And with 3 people,
Right.
as opposed to 11 people, let's say that there's 11, 15 people, over 16 as I'm talking about, whatever number you think.
Right. Then if you lose all your money, you might be tempted to walk away from it.
It's going to take a while.
Right, you got to sit there.
Well, but what you have to hope for is that it finally gets back to you and the game doesn't end. So at the tail end of the game, when person after person has thrown their money,
Right, nobody ends up rich like in poker. They end up.
Most of it goes in the
You end
center.
up poor with all of it going to.
So you may end up with 4, let's say quarters, 4 quarters and 3 quarters, sometimes 6 or 8 quarters. But at the end of the day, it gets down to 2 people with 1 quarter each. And so if you're number 16 and you're on the far end of number 16, you got to hope that there's those
There are no centers, yeah.
no centers all the way around, and it doesn't happen. So proximity to the rollers. That's why when you have 3 people, you're never far from being back in.
Right, exactly.
It just takes that much, which happened.
Many times.
Well, but what did I end up taking out of the bank was $5. So 5 times 4, that's 20 quarters. You know, that's 7 games.
At least, yeah.
And I won 1.
Again, not about skill.
Apparently. Well, no, or luck. Well, what's...
Well, it's not about skill, it's about luck.
Wait a minute.
This is not a game of luck or of skill.
Let's restate. It was about luck, of course.
Yeah.
No mercy.
I won a bunch of money at poker.
You did.
Must say.
And so here's the tale to tell you. Is that I was dead tired. I wanted it to end either way. I took a risk with an A7. And I did that, in hindsight, after you had opened a bet. Which I shouldn't have done. Because if you opened the bet, it was certainly a clear message. You say, hey,
I got something.
I got something here. And so me with an A7, I had more of a promise.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have it. I had ace high, which is
Right.
good, but it's just ace high. It's not a pair of 8s.
Yeah, I'm not going to open with just a blind unless it's a pair or
But
something.
when you're playing with 2 people, when we get to the point where the big blind is $4 or $5, and the bet is open, then in order for you to make $5, the question is, how big of an opening bet are you willing to make to hope that I basically just drop?
Right.
And you know what that number is?
$5.
I think so. I'll spend 5 to make 5. Or if I've got 5 in. But in order to do that bet, you got to have something in there. It might only be a king 3 suited. Or it
That's
could
pretty
be
minimal, yeah.
or ace 7 unsuited,
Right.
right? Ace 7 unsuited is like, well,
I've been on that before.
let's see. But the point is, of course, is that opening bet is what your intention to do with the bet. You bet $1, and your intention is the opponent's going to throw in $1 and it's going to play, as opposed to something much more than that, which is, so what do you want to do here?
Right.
You want to play this one or not? You don't? Good. I'll take your big blind.
Right, which is where I've learned in the past too, with the stronger my hand, the slower I will meet out the.
It's always a good idea to wait and see.
To raise and raise and raise. But like, if I've got like a pair of aces or something, I'm not gonna say all in. Come on, guys. No, I'm gonna little by little say
What you
pretend
should,
like I'm getting
what you
better.
should do is nothing,
Right.
depending on the number of players.
Right.
Now-
you want to raise a little bit every time if you
But
can.
here's a point to make the point, and a different point to make that point, which is that if you got a pair of 8s, you actually want to bet bigger because you would like to reduce your competition.
Right.
And your goal there is to bet big enough to keep some players in, if you got 5 or 6 players.
Right.
Whereas opposed with a pair of aces, that's not the case at all. You want a maximum number of people. You don't want anybody to know. You don't want anybody to know that you might have a winning hand. In
But
fact,
you also just don't want to call until
you don't want the pot not to build.
Right. If no one's
And what you hope for is somebody else is going to lead the bet.
right.
And when they lead the bet and you're reluctant with your bet, and they say, well, so somebody's testing it, and I'm going 2, I'm going 3, and not 5 or not 2, but enough. And so you hesitate and
And if the other person
think and look at your cards, and you got a pair of aces.
the other person has bet something. If you like see them and raise them just a little bit, they're going to be like, well,
whatever.
shit, yeah, sure.
Right. So with your pair of aces, you reluctantly see the bet until they have committed into the third bet in the games that we play, maybe $10.
right.
Where when you then finally see their bet and raise them 5,
At that point, they've got all this
Investment.
sunk cost fallacy issues.
they have this investment. They're going to protect their $10, $12 investment with a $5 bet, and the understanding you better have something, because one of two things is happening here. Either I do, or I'm doing a really good job making you think I do. It's up to you, your bet. And what they will do is they will put that money in there, because now you're down to the second from the last bet. And then the river comes, and all hell could break loose, both ends. In your case with the pair of 8s, you needed the river first straight.
Right.
So even if I had somehow with my A7 had 3 aces, well of course 2 aces, could have shown up.
No.
No, not for you to get your straight. But
Right.
but anyway, you get the point. Is that even if I dropped 3 of a kind somehow, 3 sevens would have done it.
Right.
Let's say that what flipped up was
a
2
7 and a
sevens,
7, and I
and
had
then
a-
what you
happened to have a
needed for
7.
the straight because you had the 8.
Right.
Right. Here I am with 3 sevens. Great hand. Wow, that's what I would have bet and wished for, but it isn't enough to beat your straight.
Right.
But you, unless of course the person playing is Jeff, and then none of this matters at all because he will have the worst possible hand and raise the person that's been raising as if to bluster them out when the commitment level for the bet is already $12, $15 and he's raising $4 as if he's going to blow you away. And the thing is, what you do there is you got to go all in. You can't. You. There's no half step here, but the risk. And so if on the other end is your dad, he's all in too, because he knows Jeff all too well.
Right.
That Jeff is in fact the worst possible. What do you have? A pair of sevens. Well, there's a 4-card straight on the table.
Right.
Right. 3 suited. The worst possible hand other than a high card. Good Lord, I love playing with him. Well, let's call it a day. Our company's here.
Dennis, this has been lovely.
It's been unusual.
It's been very weird to see you in 3D.
I'm actually
Here.
not in 3D. I'm actually here in person.
Take another sip and see if my background blurs.
No. Your background has blurred. And where do people go?
This is happyhour.fm. I think this is going to be happyhour.fm/047.
Yes, indeed.
So there will be show notes there for the article that I talked about, and
Anything else?
Anything
that
else
might come to mind, which isn't
might
much.
come to mind, which is not
This
much.
is mostly
'Cause this has been
mindless dribble.
well, this has been a discussion of our time together,
It is a realistic
and an awful lot of poker talk that people are going to
wonder about.
they're gonna
And sports
love.
analogies, which you don't like very much.
Sports analogies.
But
Well,
not sports analogies, sports talk.
sports talk.
You don't.
It's
You don't.
it's like throwing an air ball.
You don't.
It's like sports
Hairball!
sports talk fumbles with me.
Like throwing a hairball? That's rather catty of you.
Good night, Dennis.
Good night, my friend.
Okay, that's it for special episode number 47. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/047. And as I have been reminding you, you can go to patreon.com/happyhour, pledge $10 a month, and you can watch a video, HD video of this event, this wonderful episode that we just recorded. Or you can give us $5 a month. That would be fine too. See you next week.